Hi everybody, thanks for watching my video. This is a take two because my first one is not uploading. So I decided just to hurry up and give it another go. So my presentation is what are the factors involved when a parent chooses not to teach their deaf child sign language. This is a child getting a newborn hearing screening. All babies have to go through a newborn hearing screening to detect deafness. There are some that maybe are not detected, but most of the time that's due to a progressive hearing loss. 80% of deaf children are born to parents that don't know sign language. So this is a nice visual to give you an idea of how many kids we're talking about here. And of that 80%, only 25% of these parents in orange learn sign language to communicate with their child. What is language deprivation? I'd like to show you a quick video. I might cut it short because I know that this video has to be a certain amount of time. So. I felt like that was a very powerful video. And next is a parent support person is someone who provides ongoing support and added resources for parents of deaf children. Through my research, I noticed that a lot of the themes were that parents become overwhelmed and they're not sure which route they should take as far as language for their child, either sign language, spoken English, not sure what to do because they really don't have any supports. And in England, they conducted some research that showed that this parent support person really alleviated a lot of stress for the parents and allowed them to make educated decisions and feel positive about the decisions that they made. For many years, clinicians believed that the best way to correct hearing loss was through hearing devices such as hearing aids and cochlear implants. For this, this led to language deprivation because the cochlear implants aren't aren't placed until the child is 1 to 3 years old, and they then don't have any language exposure for the first year of their life. So this was actually causing language deprivation. The cochlear implant was deemed safe for use in the 1990s. It's a small device that's implanted in the brain to simulate sounds. And let's go to the next slide. Implantation occurs between 1 and 3 years of age, and the brain's plasticity for language development peaks at age 3, and then at age 5, that window closes for fluency in that language. So children who have the cochlear implant, it's a process where they're implanted, then the cochlear implant is turned on. That's when you see all of those videos of the baby's hearing for the first time. And so then they go through speech therapy and listening therapy to detect what those sounds are. And for some children, this doesn't. So then the therapy goes, and they do speech therapy. They start to make sounds and words. And for some children, they cannot understand what the speech is that they're hearing. They cannot produce speech, and it's an unsuccessful implant. And so once that therapy is done, and they're not satisfied with the outcome of the child's language production, that's when they introduce sign language, which then if they're implanted at 1 to 3, it could be 4 years old, and they're introducing sign language to this child. Early exposure to sign language provides the language development that equals the child's hearing peers. So deaf children who are born to deaf parents are a great model for this, because they learn sign language very naturally, just like we would learn English. And their development is parallel to their hearing peers. This is these are brain scans of native deaf signers. Those are children that were exposed to sign language at birth, and their neural and docile pathways are similar to those of hearing individuals. The brain scans of the deaf individual whose first language is sign language. These scans are similar to a hearing person whose first language was English. Here's some deaf art. Cochlear implants are a controversial topic for the deaf community because doctors tell parents, do not teach your child sign language if you're going to utilize the cochlear implant, because it will interfere with their hearing and speaking skills. And we have now learned that it is the lack of language exposure that causes that, and not the sign language. So deafness is an identity, not a disability. Deaf individuals feel that the only issue is that hearing people don't know sign language. There really is no disability if there is early exposure to ASL or another sign language. So deaf culture is very strong within the deaf community. Here are just some top things that have happened within the deaf community. Niall DeMarco was great at spotlighting deafness. He's a strong advocate for early language acquisition in deaf children. Millicent Simmons, everybody loved the movie The Quiet Place, and she is the deaf actor and that actress in that, and that really brought deafness in front of the hearing world. And one of the biggest impacts that happened amongst the deaf community is the Deaf President Now in 1990. Gallaudet University, which is the University for Deaf and Hard of Hearing Individuals in Washington, D.C., they all protested to have a deaf president. They were sick of having hearing individuals make decisions for them. And that is one of the issues that the deaf community has about the cochlear implant, is that hearing people are making decisions for the deaf children and not allowing those children to choose for themselves as to what language they would like to use, spoken English or sign language. And that concludes my my presentation. I hope you all enjoy it. It's been great having class with you guys, and good luck. And I hope that I'm in some classes with you guys next semester. Thank you.